Hey there, kids. It's me, Oni the Unicorn. And I'm here to tell you that f***ing your dreams ain't cheap. In fact, it costs a ton of cash to do. So that's why me and the Ono Radio Show need your help. Just go to the website displayed below and hit us up with some cash, yo. $1, $5, $1 million if you have it to spare. Any amount is appreciated. Well, I gotta go because these dreams ain't gonna fuck themselves. See ya!
What's gonna happen? Oh my God! Wait, am I dancing? Welcome back to the Oh No Wrestling Podcast with, well, I think, ladies and gentlemen, the titles come home. So the rightful owner, your predictions champion, myself, the Sharp Break Kid. My name is Owen, along with my good friend all the way from Denver, Colorado, former champion, the modern day Maharaja, and, of course, the king of bong style. His name is Duncan. Guys, at least I didn't, flaunt the belt, right away, tonight.
Yeah, but it sounded like you almost forgot your name.
That's okay. Champions, that they celebrate sometimes, maybe a little too hard, so they
he doesn't need to know his name. It's just whatever he decides.
Yeah.
The people know my name is all that matters. You see.
Are you the people's champ? Is that what you're saying? I think that's taken. That moniker is taken.
It might be.
Yeah.
The internet champion. Oh wait,
mask.
that's taken too.
Created.
Yeah. I mean, congratulations.
I know
that we all kind of shit the bed on a couple of those. Predictions.
Well, realistically, I thought we did pretty decent considering it was only 5 matches. I have noticed though that any time that either one of you wins, I'm the first to congratulate you in our common chat. There was no congratulations this time. There was no love for your true champion.
It's because everyone hated me losing it.
Is that why?
But I'm just trying
Also,
to.
you're going to congratulate yourself more than enough for all of us.
I was just trying to put you over, man. I was trying to put you over.
Well, thank you very much for doing so. It really did just obviously come down to one good prediction, but other than that, we got the only one that we all kind of screwed the pooch on, I want to say, was Asuka, Charlotte losing to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. That was really the only one that we screwed the pooch on.
I know, and I'm so pissed I didn't go with my gut because you guys both went with it, and I wanted to go with my gut because now I know I think they're gonna do it. Now it's Andrade is gonna come back, and it's gonna be Charlotte and Andrade in this thing against Lacey Evans and Ric Flair. And, not that Flair's going to take bumps from Andrade, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you can bring Andrade back in this sense because you now have Ric Flair with Lacey Evans, and you can put Charlotte and Lacey in a program together. And I don't know, somehow bring Andrade back, which as I was thinking that, I was like, he's going to make an appearance in the Rumble, which I was surprised he didn't. But
me too.
But obviously, and we will get to the fallout from Rumble and what we think is going to be happening next. But yeah, like the Rumble match is obviously the hardest to predict of pretty much any wrestling match imaginable. I mean, there were so many options on both sides of this one. It could have gone a lot of different ways. You guys were at least smart in that you picked people that were announced, like I went with Brock, who turned out like the closer and closer it got, the rumors were that he wasn't going to be there. I'm still kind of surprised that they didn't go that route, but at the end of the day, anything can happen. I still don't think he's done with WWE. I still somehow see him turning up at Mania, or maybe just right after Mania, something like that. We'll see how things progress. But overall, what were you guys' thoughts on the pay-per-view?
I thought it was an entertaining pay-per-view, all in all. And I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but I mean, it kept my attention. I mean, I actually did watch the whole thing through.
Yeah.
And I mean, I will say the surprises weren't really, the surprise entrance this year didn't really pop me,
I was going to
say
I was going to say exactly the same thing, especially in the women's match, to be honest, because the women's rumble, because it's just not my era. Like there were a lot of sort of, I would say, ruthless aggression, era superstars, which isn't it was the time that I wasn't watching a lot of wrestling. And I mean, I knew most of the names. I didn't, there were one or two where I'm like, yeah, I kind of think I remember, but no, like there were a couple that were just like, yeah, okay. I mean, Victoria, okay, that was a decent one, right? Who was the one, this one baffled me. I'm like, I do not have any clue who this is. She came down singing to the ring, awfully singing to the ring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one.
That
one. Yeah.
You were okay, so it's not like I'm like completely out of the loop here with not knowing.
Somebody from my dark time.
Sure. I mean, definitely was for me.
But I will say that, I mean, Duncan, you went with Bianca Belair, right?
I went with Bianca Belair.
Oh, you went with Bianca Belair.
No,
okay.
I was going to go with Bianca, and I went with
Rhea
Rhea.
Ripley. Okay.
Yeah, you and I both went with Rhea.
So
that's honestly that's the only reason I've won. That's the only was the reason.
I will say the end of that match fucking was gangbusters for the last little bit. Like that was fucking great. They both looked fucking great. I mean, Charlotte being there, Natty, whatever. But
a great final three. A great final three.
Great final three to be in there, and like it kept making me think like, oh shit, like like fuck, she's not gonna like she's gonna get it. Oh, she's not gonna get it. She's gonna get it. And then there were a couple of times that for some reason, and I was like paying attention, but then I would like look at my phone and look up, and I'd be like, I'd see like Ruby Riott, and I'd be like, oh fuck, she got eliminated. I was like, my pick got eliminated, and I was like, oh wait, no, that was Ruby Riott.
It's like, oh, it's a different tattooed girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. The surprises. I mean, Rhea Ripley coming out wasn't really a surprise.
No,
right?
I mean, she wasn't announced, but it would have been very odd if she had not shown up.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. But yeah, a lot of the, I don't know, Mickie James, cool.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm fine with Mickie. But it's one of those surprises that it's not like she comes out and you're like, oh, Mickie James might win the match. Like no one ever thinks that, right?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think that's crossing anybody's mind.
And like in the men's, I had this saved actually, which was, that Adam Pearce definitely has some explaining to do because he had said, for
I saw that in an article.
Ricochet, he said it's actually pretty simple. He had a tweet that those have been granted the ability to simply declare entry into the Royal Rumble, quote, by management are free to do so. Those that haven't must qualify. I don't write the rules. I enforce them. And then he made Ricochet face off against AJ Styles to be able to go into the Rumble, in which he lost. And then Ricochet showed up in the Rumble. So there's a big loophole there somewhere.
I think the wording is that you have to earn your spot. You have to impress or something. There's something like didn't necessarily have to win the match, but you had to earn the right. Like
Big ol' stroke
yeah,
me on the
yeah.
fucking details. I don't care.
Yeah, they're real creative. Not creative.
Yeah, I
they're
will
real creative
say-
just to bend the fucking story to their will.
Well, I mean, it's WWE. They do what they want. I will say, the fuck was up with our boy Reginald getting thrown out of the match when he got attacked by Sasha Banks.
I know it's not like
Yeah.
he went after her. I thought that
No, that's bullshit.
he technically put his hands on Sasha. I guess would be
Caught Sasha while she was trying to accost him. I don't think that's some hoe shit.
Great. I agree. And I think we're all disappointed that our boy Reginald wasn't in the Rumble match itself, because that would have been just a perfect spot, especially without Kofi in the match, like we talked about. It
would have been great.
I like how Kofi showed up backstage, and they did have, the gear.
The John Huber gear, which was
the gear was great.
Am I wrong in stating this too? The image of I could be wrong in this, but the image that they had on their gear looked more like AEW John Huber than it did.
Yeah.
It looked more like Brody Lee than it did Luke Harper.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah. But that was a real classy move, and it was good looking gear as well. Like, it's the New Day. They always knock.
Yeah, they never don't have good looking gear.
Exactly. Other little like highlights from the night. The Roman Reigns Kevin Owens match, actually, I thought it was great. I thought they did a great job. It might have been you know what? I think it was the right amount of time. The obvious with this one was the finish in where Paul Heyman clearly couldn't get the keys to work the handcuffs.
Oh
and
my God.
The ref stopped the count for however long he stopped the count.
He's like,
for.
I mean, I know we're supposed to call it like a shoot, but I know I'm gonna get fired if I fuck this up.
Yeah.
Also, can we just take a moment and appreciate the beauty that was that forklift spot?
Yeah.
And I know one of your favorites as well, the golf cart spot.
Yeah, I mean, did you guys? And I'm sure you guys saw Twitter and Kenny Omega's exchanges where he said, kind of, guys, I know, like, they did it well, so props to them or everyone involved. And then people kept getting after him, and he said, what was it? Like,
It's
word of advice to all you weird WWE stans. He said, if you're trying to piss me off, tweet something controversial about a video game I like. I don't care much about wrestling opinions. Those are yours. Have them.
Yeah. And I'm glad I'm glad he had that, stance. People were trying to say that, of course, they were ripping off AEW with the Sammy Guevara spot back in the Stadium Stampede and all that type of shit, where it's like, no, there have been plenty of golf cart spots over the years. I remember one, I want to say, with the Big Show years back.
Well, there's been plenty of different
vehicle
spots, right?
Someone responded to Omega and said, if these responses are all about the golf cart thing, Jerry Lawler and Eddie Gilbert did it with a car 35 years ago. Just appreciate stuff.
Yeah.
And Kenny says, there's no top in that one.
No. Yeah,
so,
see, there you go.
And I mean, imagine there's stuff. I mean, didn't Stone Cold do shit with his truck and hitting people? Like, people have been doing those
with
spots
the monster
forever.
truck, with every form of vehicle you could think of. And he used to ride the ATV down to the ring when he was Sheriff Austin or whatever.
Yeah. And you know
I mean,
what?
I did it for The Rock. I mean, look at that. Like,
Right.
Just that alone.
Despite that, they were having a last man standing. It wasn't the Stadium Stampede, but they did go around. I like that you could see the training ring in the back, they kind of gave you a kind of a glimpse into things. I thought
cool.
I thought
to get
that
a peek
was kind of
into
cool.
that.
And you know what? Even if they did it as just like a, just as like a wink, nudge, like, you know what? Fucking good on them, because one, it looked good, and
Yep.
two, and two, if they're gonna do it, they at least like kind of were like, yeah, we see you, AEW.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and guess what? Boom! Now I'm hitting someone with a golf cart, and we made it look fucking real good too.
Yeah.
So I think that's competition. That's fun if it was that, and I'm sure someone behind the scenes had the like, let's do a little fucking nudge to them. They do nudges to us. Let's just do a little,
Yeah.
And I'm not
And
saying
it
that was the whole
different.
thing.
It wasn't the exact same thing. Like, you didn't have
No.
that cinematic view of the golf cart coming after it.
Yeah.
It was like, you know what I mean? He just out of nowhere blasted the fuck
Blasted
out of
him.
him with the golf cart. My favorite little thing that I noticed, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, was the Miz's briefcase.
The prop
and-
table with the briefcase on it. Yeah.
And him and Morrison's like jackets right there, because
Yeah.
they had either just done or were about to do something. I was just like, oh man, come on.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that was cool. I also really enjoyed seeing like it was the equivalent of fighting in the crowd with them fighting in the Thunderdome and seeing the scaffolding and using that to their advantage. It was as close as you can get to fighting in a crowd with not having any crowd.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool too. Overall the match was great. I mean, it kept my attention. It was a little long, but regardless, I also think they kept KO looking strong, which was
Absolutely.
important, and made him look even more like a badass.
I want to say it was the best non-Rumble match of the night. I feel like it was. I'm trying to look. Let me go through the card. Because Asuka, the match
That was
tag team match,
garbage.
it was a garbage match as we expected. Drew versus Goldberg. I mean, thank God for the result, but
Ooh.
we knew that wasn't going to go long, no matter what direction it was going to
and
go
Goldberg,
in.
did you see he's wearing those like Samoa Joe
Yeah,
shorts?
yeah. And he looked gassed as fuck by the end of it. And
Oh my
He
god, dude.
always looks gassed,
Always.
dude.
He's like
Yeah.
sweating fucking bullets. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, that just proves that just goes to show, just because you're fucking muscular and strong doesn't mean you're in fucking shape.
I guess the only other one that we didn't get to predict because it was announced after we did the show was the Sasha Carmella match with Reginald, which was a good match. I think I've said plenty of times on here, I'm impressed at how well just said her name, fucking Carmella, sorry.
Yeah.
How well she's progressed over,
She has.
over
Absolutely.
time.
And that match, I would say that was second best non-Rumble match. Like, that match was great.
Yeah, it was. It was. What do you guys think of now the winner of the Rumble? Of course, being Edge.
I was gonna say men's or women's Rumble.
Well, first off, I think Bianca was the complete right choice. I could have gone either way with her or Rhea
I don't
Ripley.
think you could have gone. You could have been wrong with either her or
No.
Rhea.
I mean, as much as I kind of wanted Bianca for the prediction side of things, I wouldn't have been mad, of course, if Rhea Ripley had won that match.
No,
It would have.
but let me tell you what excited me about that
Hmm.
is when Alexa Bliss. Okay. So first of all, let me set the scene. I'm watching the Royal Rumble with my mother-in-law and her new boyfriend at his apartment for the first time, and he's making dinner for us. And I'm like, look, I can come over.
But
I have to watch the Royal Rumble, so I'll bring my Fire Stick and I'll just plug it right into the it'll be fine. And watching wrestling with somebody who definitely does not like wrestling, it's just like, oh, you're just gonna shit on everything and I'm gonna ignore you.
it can
because I
be
don't care.
torturous, or like sometimes if it's
Right.
just somebody that doesn't like has never watched it, it can be fun. But if it's somebody that definitely just has a
Wants to
distaste,
talk shit.
right?
Yeah, you're just
yeah.
like, come on, man, just fucking shut the fuck up. I
Yeah.
don't.
Right.
I don't come
So-
over to your house and fucking shit on what you like.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get upset when you want to play like shitty music on your guitar or play whatever horrible music you like to listen to.
Watch
I don't-
football or whatever it is.
No, it's not football. It's
Yeah.
always bad music. Like, it's always bad 70s prog rock or the
Yeah, or
fucking
like
Foo
Fish.
Fighters. No, I would, honest to God, Matthew, I would be happier if it was Fish. And you know how I feel about that shit.
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
Fish.
You know
So-
how I feel about him.
Exactly. So I'm at their place. He made delicious food, but I'm watching the women's rumble, and Rhea comes out, and I'm like, fuck yeah. He's making stupid comments. Alexa Bliss comes out, and he's like, ooh la la la, and like makes stupid comments. But then I watch Alexa start to do her like weird I'm a psycho turn, and Rhea dumps her straight over the fucking ropes. And I'm like, that's gonna be a beautiful first main roster feud for Rhea.
That's gonna be fucking great because I don't know if you guys saw parts of Raw last night. I had quite a bit of work to do, and I just threw it on.
You never have work to do. I can't believe you.
Yeah,
I actually watched all of Raw for the first time in a long time, and
so I watched 2 hours of it.
It was one of the best Raws they've done in a long time as well.
So I don't know what happened on the first hour, but I threw it on for the last two because I was like, I can at least like focus on work and like semi have this in the background now and be watching it. And I will say, I mean, they won't be able to do it in a live crowd, but I did like how quickly they did the cuts with Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
And like that morphing of her, like especially with Nikki Cross, and going back to like the Twisted Bliss, like, and then being like, hey Nikki, it's me, and then like real quickly like going back after Nikki like takes her out, and then she just like is back to this new fucking crazy Alexa Bliss and is like laughing that she just got fucking hit and is like, I'm gonna fuck you up. I thought that was awesome.
No, that was good. I really enjoyed that as well. And you know, back to what you were just saying about Rhea Ripley and Alexa having like a good first feud. I hadn't really put that together, but you're absolutely right. That would make a great feud. I just naturally assumed that the direction that they would be going would be with Charlotte because of the history of that. But then again, Charlotte's involved in that Lacey Evans program, so it makes a ton more sense right now for that to be the case. And I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
I'm all for that too.
Rhea's kind of got to win because they need they need to prop Rhea up a little bit more than they have done.
Well, and they can't keep this Alexa thing going on for I'm not saying too much longer. They can keep it going for a while, but eventually something's got to give. The Fiend's got to come back, or I mean, and I guess that's probably going to be what, Mania or something like that. There's going to be like I don't know, but like what is Bray Wyatt doing? I don't know.
You could do Chamber. You could do a teleportation in the Chamber type thing, maybe, like because I don't think that's in front of a crowd. So that'll be in the Thunderdome, I'm assuming. So if you had the Chamber where you maybe have Bray come back or someone's not in the Chamber that's supposed to be there, and then you have the Fiend appear or something like that, maybe you could do something there. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it would have to be Mania, I guess. You're right.
I just don't know now at what capacity. I mean, I guess I don't know. I was also surprised last night. Well, and maybe that's how they end up doing it eventually. But like, I guess when they said, "Oh, tonight for the last time ever, fucking Randy Orton and Edge," I was just like, "Oh, come on!" And then I was like, "There's 12 minutes left. The same thing they do every time on Raw. There's 12 minutes left. Let's do the main event." Like, you know what I'm saying? But then Alexa showed up.
Yep.
Right.
That was cool. And I like the foreshadowing before how they had their match right before that one. So they had the stare down kind of between Alexa Bliss.
And Randy Orton. Like, I was okay with that. But now I'm wondering, is that something that like the Fiend and Randy Orton end up doing something because of all of this? And
probably
we end up, you know,
now we revisit that for the umpteenth time as well. Which is okay as long as you put a different twist on it, I suppose. I mean, maybe that could lead to the Fiend with something with Edge down the line. Like, I don't hate that.
No, that'd be okay. Like, I could see that. Like, you'd give me some sort of weird little throwback to the Brood with, like, the Fiend coming out of the stage at the circle of fire.
I could fuck with that. Well, we're just kind of on the topic of Alexa and stuff. I love her play pain gloves. I think I've mentioned that, how it's like the Fiend's like hurt heel, play pain.
Yeah.
I love those. And I also like, well, we're just on the topic of the women's Rumble in a sense as well. Bianca, what do you think is next for her? I can't see it. I mean, I think it kind of has to be Sasha, like in a way, or do they go sort of triple threat route? I hope they don't. But for her, like Sasha and Bianca at Mania seems like that would work for me.
I think that would work for me too. I think the better match would be Bianca Asuka.
Reasoning?
Because I feel that Asuka is more of a hard hitting opponent, and the style of those two together would be more of like that. It's Bianca has that NXT strong style down.
She does, yeah.
And in a way that Sasha used to have, but doesn't anymore.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think
Sasha's been on the main roster for so long that she's now like developed that main roster style. Asuka spent so much time in Japan and in NXT that when she is with somebody that she can go with, she still can turn it on. I haven't seen Sasha turn it on in a while.
It's interesting too because Bianca's kind of is a mix between those two styles. She definitely has that hard hitting style at times, but then she's definitely got some flippy shit in her. She's definitely got some
Absolutely.
And that main roster personality, that sports entertainment vibe about her. So I could see that going either way.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't mind it either way as long as Bianca ends up champion. Like I think she deserves it. I think
she does. I think you got to start the build now, though.
Yeah, you do.
Like throw some adversaries in front of her that really like she has to overcome. Like make it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think you have to like make us as the crowd. We already want her to win, but make it like make her. You know what I mean?
Prove to us why she's going to.
Exactly.
Like give her a little bit of a track record. give her like on the main roster. Give her a little bit of a track record. Like make her a little bit of a destroyer. And I kind of agree. I mean, I think that they would put on a great show, Sasha and Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
But I see if Bianca's gonna win the belt, I see them having her beat Asuka over having her beat Sasha because it's taken Sasha such a while to actually get that belt.
That's fair, and as much as we like Asuka, it seems kind of like, and if they're not doing the Charlotte feud with her right away, it feels like she's not really got a ton going on. And you could Bianca's what? Is she SmackDown or is she Raw?
Yes. No, she's the EST of SmackDown.
Yeah, you're right. So obviously Sasha would be, I don't know, maybe the more logical choice, but it doesn't matter, as we know when it comes to a Rumble winner. They can do whatever
the fuck they want anyway.
And for a while, you can have perhaps, I think, a Carmella Bianca feud in the meantime, like just to kind of build like that would work quite well.
Wouldn't hate that.
No. And then, like you said, you've got the Lacey Evans thing with Charlotte. Now you kind of like, you have Bianca. Yeah, you've convinced me. I was leaning towards Sasha with Bianca, but now, you've convinced me that I think, I was wrong about that.
But then who does Sasha wrestle?
We do Bailey again, I guess.
So
there's always that like potential. Fucking
Natalia.
Rhea Ripley.
Fuck it, Rhea Ripley.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna like that would be a great spot for Rhea Ripley.
Because the Alexa Bliss and Rhea Ripley feud doesn't have to happen at Mania. That can happen.
That can be a nice in between feud.
Unfortunately, you can't really do both because one of them's Raw, one of them's SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So pick, and it's also, I guess, it would be easy enough for Bianca to just be like, I want to challenge for the Raw Women's title. I'm still on SmackDown, but I want to challenge Asuka.
Yeah, you can do that. No problem.
I think you can do that. I don't think there's any reason not to.
Much as in the same sense, switching gears a little bit, they've already kind of made that very clear with what happened on Raw with not only Edge winning the Rumble, which is obviously a big surprise.
We didn't even really get a chance to talk about that.
No, we
Nor
didn't.
The fact that Christian came back and
Yes.
Carlito, I was just like, okay, all right.
I got
fine.
nothing against Carlito. It's not exactly like I'm popping for it super huge, but again,
I popped for Carlito.
Nah, that's
Because he looks really fucking good.
Dude,
like
he's
he looks.
jacked. He's
he
like,
did.
what are they? I mean, they're saying 243 pounds or something. Dude's fucking jacked.
I'm 243 pounds.
by saying that though too, Christian looked great.
Oh, Christian Captain
looked,
Charisma himself looked
They're-
fucking
well,
fantastic.
And they're saying that he might be around for. They're
Yep.
like, they're not sure what capacity, but he's not. It wasn't a one-off.
Sort of a short-term, part-time.
Yeah. So, and
Which, I mean-
Carlito, I think they're trying to, what I've read at least, is they're trying to figure out, is he going to actually be wrestling more right now, or is he going to take more of a producer role?
Right.
And he's
Yeah.
kind of working both, and Triple H is kind of giving him a chance to see, what can be done.
I heard
Oh,
that. I heard
that's
that
cool.
too, and that's really cool. And it sounds like it's interesting because it's very parallel to what we saw with MVP at last year's Rumble.
Exactly.
Where MVP came in. They said it was kind of a one-off. He had the one-off with Rey Mysterio the following night.
That he said was going to be his last match
and
or
then
whatever.
all of a sudden he's back wrestling and doing the Hurt Business thing.
And the Hurt Business.
And
And dude, in the Hurt Business works.
the Hurt Business really works, and I can't
And
I
believe
was
it.
not
and-
into it at the very beginning. but
No,
it grew
and I
on
don't
me.
think any of us were
No.
super fans of MVP.
Nope.
What got me, one, when Matthew and I saw Ring of Honor and MVP was like a surprise entrance, and we popped for it, and we didn't even know why we were popping
Yeah.
for it. We're like,
Yeah.
fuck, it's MVP. Awesome.
Right.
Wait a minute. But
You
it
get caught
was-
up in the moment,
Yeah, exactly. We were doing what we were supposed to be doing as
Yeah,
wrestling.
you're there live. You're being a fan.
Dude,
right.
we were at NXT and popped for the Lucha House Bros, man, or like Lucha
Dude,
House Party
First of all, and the Bollywood Boys.
and the Bollywood Boys.
But the second was when they were doing the empty PC shows and they had the Performance Center talent around the ring. Reginald was constantly talking shit to MVP.
That's funny.
Like he would go over to the ramp and just like talk shit at MVP every single week. And MVP would talk shit back to him. And I would always text him and be like, dude, you talking shit to MVP really kind of makes my night.
Yeah, that's probably why he was doing it.
You know what I will say I would have popped for and I didn't get, and I'm fucking pissed about it.
Oh God.
They hindered the gender.
They did hinder the gender, and that's actually, interestingly enough, one of our Facebook questions from
really?
from
Was
tonight.
why did they hinder the gender?
Yeah,
Yeah,
our
I
buddy
think it's
Nick,
'cause-
our buddy Nick Morrow. Why the fuck was it gender in/win the Rumble? Like he.
Fuck yeah, exactly, Nick. Exactly. My thoughts exactly.
I think Jinder should have been number 31 and just come out and
Yeah, and then they lower a fucking Punjabi prison and everyone else, and then he
Yes.
comes and just destroys them.
yes. I'm so in.
I'm really surprised that they didn't put him in the Rumble, especially after they've just had him back with the India thing, whatever that was called. I've already forgotten. But
The
something
super-
spectacle.
the
I was just about to
Curry
call it
Showdown?
NXT India, so
Superstar Spectacular or Spectacle
Yeah,
or something
the Super
like that.
Curry Showdown.
Yeah, that's it. That's the
Yeah.
one.
The
But-
butter chicken spectacular.
But I'm kind of surprised they didn't throw him in there for a couple of reasons. Not only did he not just come back and start wrestling, he's obviously cleared, but it would have been good for the Rumble intention because he's already been a big WWE, he's been a WWE champion, and you've got the history with him and Drew. Drew has already won, so you feel like he's probably going to hold that belt until Mania. I mean, or at least go into Mania. Maybe he drops it, picks it back up, whatever. But you have that, and then you have the potential, which a lot of fans would just be like, oh no, Jinder, they're going to do Drew and Jinder and like the 3MB, you know, kind of thing. It would have at least been a good little red herring to kind of keep us guessing. I wouldn't have been surprised to have him in like the last 4, for instance. Like, it would have made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I don't. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. You can go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, while we're on the topic of the last 4 of the men's rumble, I don't think that was supposed to be the way it went down. I think that Keith Lee was supposed to be number 30 instead of Braun. And I think that was a last minute kind of like, shit, what do we do? It was a decent. I enjoyed that Seth Rollins was in there. I enjoyed that Seth Rollins was the one to take out D-Bry. I think that's really smart booking, and I think that there's a feud like that. That is a great feud. If we get a D-Bry Seth Rollins match at Mania, I'm in for that. I think, and I
liked seeing Damian Priest come out.
Yeah, and you know, it appears, if last night's Raw is anything to go by, that they're going to treat him as a face on Raw, and that he is now moved up to the main roster, and I'm fine with that. Like, it's he's a main roster type of guy. I'm not a big fan of the Bad Bunny element of things.
The fuck was that, dude? That was like the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my
all of
entire
that,
life.
every bit of it. Okay, like all. Okay, I knew the thing existed.
Yeah,
like,
I'd seen a clip of it. Like, I'd seen a GIF.
I never seeked it out though.
Just
and for good reason.
Not. Yeah, I mean, like, let's be real. It looks like it'd be right in my wheelhouse.
It's definitely your style of music.
That Bad Bunny tattoo. Yeah,
just fucking like I would get a big
right on the
job
neck.
stopper
Yeah,
on my neck.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
I already have enough dumb job stoppers I have to worry about now.
I don't know, Bad Bunny one. That might be a job getter. People are
Oh
like,
yeah.
No,
Bunny,
the Wu-Tang was a job getter, Matthew. You remember?
Well, and the Woo.
Yeah, the Woo, and then the
Tang.
Wu-Tang. Yeah.
It's awesome.
So yes, but I knew that it existed, and I listened to about 15 seconds of it, which it turns out that's all the song is that same 15 seconds looped for.
Hasta luego, muchacho contento.
Dude, I was just
chimichangas burritos.
And then, but dude,
something about a champion.
GI Bro just standing there.
And then at one point, there was one point where he looked and he's like. And I was like, yeah, but you're nodding off beat, Booker T.
And then the can you dig it, sucker? And I was just like, yeah, this doesn't make it look good for me to be a wrestling fan watching this with.
It also makes me feel so old, like that I have zero like understanding of this. Like,
somebody tell me what this is.
Somebody tell me what this is. This isn't music, is it? Like, what is going on? And what's
is it
even
something
more
that we would have seen at Mardi Gras like 4 or 5 years ago?
Universal's Mardi Gras. This guy would probably be an act that would be right up there.
I bet he has. I bet if I looked it up, he is.
He's probably already done it
all over. Yeah.
But dude, check this out. He's not all like he had something ridiculous in numbers on YouTube with his like crossbody that he did like in the match to the Miz and Morrison. Like on YouTube, like it's got crazy numbers in the millions. So obviously, like somebody out there likes him because not only on top of that, he has one of now.
He has multiple Latin Grammys. They said.
Yeah. What the fuck? Latin music, get it together. Anyway, fucking apart from that,
hey, I listen to metal. I can't say shit.
But just I guess it's some like record breaking statistic, and like since his performance at the Rumble on Spotify, he's had the largest jump in their charts. Like some ridiculous statistic that he went from some number to like. For in like the hundreds of for that particular Booker T song now is in like the top 50.
You you look how I feel. Like that. That
Just gonna. This is now a stress sponge.
Yeah.
This is no longer a rehabilitation for my fucking surgery. This is now a stress sponge.
Don't hurt yourself. Like just fucking crush it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it just like you.
His finger
Crush the
explodes, like it just pops
Yeah.
open.
Yeah, fuck.
This is all Bad Bunny's fault.
Yeah.
Fuck our
Yeah, then I go back
a-hole.
into surgery. They're like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Bad Bunny happened."
It turns out I couldn't dig it, and I am the sucker.
I am the sucker. But yeah, it's beyond me. But hey, more power to the people if they
Yeah.
like him, and it's good
Hey,
on,
like-
good on them.
like what you like.
Obviously, it's a good move if that many people like it. It's
That's
just not in
exactly
my
it.
It's just not in my wheelhouse, but more power to whatever.
Nah.
I can dislike it, but I'm not gonna hate on it. I'm just gonna say it's not my thing, and
I'm old and it confused me.
Yeah, exactly. I think we
Yeah.
all feel exactly the same way.
yeah. I did want to say we got no Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
I did like that Becky trolled everybody on Twitter because around the 24th entrant
That was amazing.
for the Women's Royal Rumble, she sent out a picture of the curtains going from Gorilla going to the ramp. Everyone thought, oh shit, there's like 6 people left or 5 people left. She's gonna do something, and then afterwards she's like, oh, sorry guys, I just thought that this was a really nice fucking picture of a curtain.
And she's there with Seth.
With
You
Seth,
know,
yeah.
like she's
So
there with
I
Seth.
thought that was pretty funny. And then I'm sure you guys read and heard, but Vince wasn't at the Rumble.
I did see that. That seems very unusual.
So I mean, his brother passed away the week
Yeah.
before, and he wasn't at Raw or SmackDown apparently the week before. And they were saying because they were still saying he was heavily involved. And he was on the
Like
phone
Vince
all
was
time,
in
but-
the Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
he's
but
one of
poor
those
poor
three.
Triple H. Like, oh, he's
or
calling
no,
me
there's
again.
just like there's just like a camera of him like at the top of the dome, like he's like omniscient, like a
Oh
god.
my god,
like
he's the
and
great and powerful Oz.
yeah, exactly. Right?
He's on
But-
the jumbotron. It's
Yeah.
just Vince's head. Pal,
Yeah.
Reggie is such good shit.
Shit. But yeah, I mean, that seems like a really big pay-per-view for him to miss.
It
I
does.
mean, granted, his brother passed away, which is horrible, and but that is, I mean, knowing how Vince is, that's surprising. Yeah, even though he was on calls and stuff, and I saw it was like, who was it? Like with Vince being gone, yeah, it was the people who produced the men's Royal Rumble. It was Shane, Jamie Noble, and Jason Jordan produced it.
Oh wow, Jason Jordan's moved that far up.
I know, right? I mean,
Like Shane makes sense. Jamie Noble to a degree because I know he's been around for a while. But yeah, wow, that's interesting.
yeah. So I found that pretty interesting. But that Jason Jordan was on that list.
Couple other things too. Do we need Kane? Do we need Kane in the
No.
Rumble? Do we need Kane?
Dude, seriously, did we need Kane? Could not Reginald have come out?
Right.
My answer for everything literally is going to be Reginald.
Yeah,
I'm
Reginald. But he came
but
out at number,
seriously-
I think he came out at number 18 or something like that, which was his
Yeah.
18th appearance in the Rumble. I think that was
sorry.
the whole
Oh, stop
thing.
it.
Yeah,
Stop.
but they do. That's what they do.
I know that's what they do. And it was like Ty Dillinger coming out at number 10,
10.
right? And that was good the first year. And then they did it again. And we're just like,
You know who I kind of popped for, though? Alicia Fox coming back.
I
dude,
did.
Foxy. I was like, Foxy got tattooed.
Yeah, and she's not drunk.
I mean, I don't know.
We
She may have
don't-
She
blown.
might,
under
well, it's not.
the, may have blown under the limit.
Yeah, Arn Anderson's not there to party with her so anymore. So.
Yeah.
No, he's getting drunk with people in fucking AEW.
Yeah.
I
Which I
love-
thought really funny. Sorry, I was listening to some whatever. I think it was a Talk Us Jericho from a few weeks ago, and Cody was on, and he's just like half-assedly mentioning. He's like, I mean, when Arn's out there on TV, he's not doing shit. Like, like it was just Cody was very blatant about it.
He's just pointing at a clipboard.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah.
not doing shit.
I love it. I love it. One thing I don't know if this is something that has always happened, but I notice it just uh, in years past. It's maybe just not like been on my attention, but or come to my attention rather. But wrestlers that are like the IC champ with Big E and with Bobby Lashley, US champ entering the Rumble. Why can't they come down with their belt and hand it off? Like same with Shayna, who just won the women's, tag team champion. Same with Nia. And then
I feel like they used to.
I feel like they used to as well. And what was interesting is about that as well was whilst there was like a 6 women tag on Raw last night. It was it was Lana, Natalia. No, not Natalia. Lana. Was it Lana? Lana and no Naomi versus Charlotte Asuka and some other team I'm forgetting right now.
Not Shayna and Nia?
No, because they were watching from backstage doing the whole
Awkwardly.
awkward watching the monitor thing. But even in that, why weren't holding their belts? They didn't have their belts over their shoulders. That seems
because
odd
they
to
live
me.
in the prop case.
I guess, but that seems odd that you have your champions watching the match to see who their number one contender is, not holding their belts. So I don't know if there's some weird thing going on that they only are now showing them when they're coming down to the ring, having a match defending them or something like that. But I do feel I do feel like once upon a time they used to wear the belt down and then they hand it off to a ref or a stagehand or something as they get in the ring.
Yeah, they had the handler guy.
Right.
You'd want them to look like it's
it
gotta
looks-
not be a COVID thing, but you gotta have them show up looking like a champion.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, being the champion. If you are the champion, you should have that representation
100%
when you're on TV.
Do you think I did kind of pop for Rollins. I did think for a minute he was going to win it. I think that it was a good pick on your part, Duncan, for
man.
he almost did that.
Edge never in a million years would have been my pick.
Never.
Yeah, especially coming in fucking
number
at the very
one.
beginning.
Exactly. I felt like something would have happened with The Fiend or Randy. I mean, obviously it did kind of happen with Randy and we all knew when he was getting hauled away, we all knew he'd be back.
Stop that spot.
Yeah, I don't like that spot either. It's overplayed.
It's dumb.
Now the way that what's her face was doing it from the Iconics. Oh shit. Not Peyton Royce, Billy Kay. The way she was handling it, I thought was actually really amusing and funny, but she got in the ring eventually. She delayed her time and all that,
Right.
but she got in the ring and then they had their whole interaction, but it goes with her gimmick. So that didn't bother me in the slightest. I thought that was a unique version and a cool way to kind of do that. But yeah, the whole Randy thing. And I'm just surprised they had Edge kind of no sell that RKO at the end.
Yeah, no, I was actually surprised by that too. But
Fuck your finish, Randy.
It's one of the most protected moves, though, right?
I know,
it really is
100%. Hardly anybody no sells that, and that's why. God, you remember a few years ago when Randy did the whole dive controversy?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a second.
So there was a bunch of people in PWG, and I want to say it was the Young Bucks, and it was just a bunch of different tag teams, and bunch of
smart asses.
Yeah, bunch of smart asses. So there was 8 of them in the ring, and they all took turns doing the RKO to each other and just no selling the shit out of it, and just continuous chain of RKOs. I think they called it like the ace cutter or something.
That's funny.
I'll see if I can find it and send you the video. But
I
God
like
damn
that.
it was hilarious. It's just like a big middle finger to you, Randy. It's just like, come on, don't be an asshole.
What do you
I mean, we know you are an asshole, but
what do you think is next for Edge then? I mean, because again, we said not in a million years. Obviously, it's one of two people, or is it? We got, you know, the big confrontation last night with Drew. You've got the potential of it being against Roman. But now we've just heard breaking before the show that Edge will be on NXT tomorrow. Is that teasing us for Edge versus Balor?
I mean, first of all, I think Edge versus Balor would be awesome, but can fucking Edge handle a Finn Balor at 100% intensity?
Yeah.
Like,
Probably not. But can he
Like,
handle Roman or Drew at 100%? You know,
yeah, because they're like, dude, Finn Balor is
Yeah.
back to being the prince.
yeah, you're right. You're
And
right.
dude, he's being ruthless as fuck, and I love it. But I just feel like he broke Kyle O'Reilly's jaw.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like, and you know it wasn't intentional, it just happened.
just
And
happened.
I don't think that Finn is gonna go.
He's not going to play
less-
nice. Yeah, he's not going to. Yeah.
No, because that's not his character, and that doesn't make him look better.
I'll ask you two
So-
questions then. Who do you want to see Edge face, and who do you think Edge will face? To the both of you. If we're going just Drew,
Drew Roman.
Roman.
Finn.
I mean, I think it's. I guess I'd rather see him and Roman.
I think so
guess.
too.
versus him and Drew.
Yeah,
I would rather see that match as well.
I'm still not extremely excited about it. I'm
No,
not, I'm
but
not
it's-
extremely excited about either.
I go Drew Roman is what I would prefer to see, and or sorry, not Drew Roman, Edge Roman is what I would prefer to see, and Edge Roman being more than likely what we will see, just because it is.
I think that's what we're getting.
It's it's WrestleMania caliber. It makes a lot of sense. Spear, you know.
yeah,
feel-
it's
hey,
bring the
guys.
old with the new.
Versus
I don't know. Bring Goldberg into it. Make it a triple threat.
Oh God, please
And
don't
then
do
bring
that.
Rhino back.
Yeah, but then who does McIntyre if he still retains the belt?
Brock.
What about this? What do you guys think about that new kid who looks like kind of like Brock, the young guy? He was with for Rumble. He was with what's her name? She posted a picture.
I know who you're talking about.
You know, have you seen this
Yeah.
guy? He looks exactly like fucking.
He looks like a young
Brock.
Brock
He's a
Lesnar.
young Brock Lesnar.
Is
and
he the
he's
one they
training,
just
and he-
signed? Yeah, they just signed him,
Um,
right? Like not too like a couple few months back. Like he's like
Yeah, here I'm looking it up. So it's let's see. Sorry, you guys can talk amongst
Yeah,
yourselves
no,
it's
while
just
I'm
like-
looking here.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling.
Parker Bordeaux.
Okay. Yes, that is the guy. I was thinking of.
Parker Bordeaux, and I mean, yeah. If I showed you guys the pictures that I'm looking at right now, it's like, are you sure that's not Brock Lesnar?
Right.
You know, it's like like a lot, and then basically during Royal Rumble, and I'm sorry, I'm just kind of dragging things on while I'm looking at this. So he was with Eva Marie, and they posted a picture from a viewing party. And so, I mean, this was the article I read. I found it. Okay, so cage side seats, and the article is, let's read too much into this pic of Eva Marie and WWE's next big thing. that's the, and so, but it's a picture. I mean, the dude's got his sleeves, you know, but he's got total Brock hair. He's fucking jacked. He's standing right next to Eva Marie, who looks fucking great in this picture, and there's flames in front of them. Like a
Another
barbecue
one
or
that I'm
something.
surprised we didn't see come back in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eva Marie.
and so she posted it and said, "Let's get ready to rumble at Parker Bordeaux viewing party with the fam." And then he had posted like, "Let's get ready to rumble," but he had commented on hers saying they have no idea. So who knows if they're up to something or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, dude looks like a fucking beast though.
I'll say this. I think I really do have a feeling that it's going to be Drew and Brock at Mania. And I
to try and get, because it's in front of a crowd, to get through his.
Yep. And I think Drew will win. And I think that can then set up Roman Brock for later down the road with the Lesnar connection.
So you're going to have both of the main titles retained at Mania?
Yeah.
Put Brock in the Elimination Chamber, but keep him till the last one so we get to see him all worked up inside that pod for the entire match.
And just burst through the pod. And
watch the pod fall.
Yeah, like the fucking Shockmaster.
That would be great, actually.
One of the little, we all know that Paul Heyman is really good on Twitter, and he's good at like doing these little subtle hints and working people up. And one of the things that he did prior to the Rumble, or maybe he did it prior to Raw last night, but he was wearing a blue suit, and he's like, blue for SmackDown, but he had a little red pocket, square, red for the bloodline. But what if he's kind of insinuating, blue for being with Roman and red for Brock being on Raw, doodly-doodly-doo, kind of working both angles, leading to something down the road with a Brock Roman feud. I can see it.
I can see it, but is Brock gonna be
wanting to lose
into it, or is Brock gonna just fucking suplex City and not give a shit?
Probably.
I'm
not into anything involving Brock. We know this, but
we just bring back Goldberg again and we do that again.
Yeah. I read an article on Brock the other day, and I forget who was saying it, but they were saying that the reason, because he hates traveling so much, like he just absolutely fucking hates it. Like he literally hired a pilot to live in his basement,
and he bought a plane.
Yeah, and the pilot lived in his basement, and literally he would fly to fucking Raw and fly back because he fucking hated the airports and fucking actually traveling. So he's on a limited schedule, and when he had to travel, it was just at his fucking convenience, because literally his pilot lived in his basement.
When you make $500,000 a show or whatever it is, I guess you can do that. And I've heard of I actually know a friend who is a Cessna mechanic and pilot, and he works for the company of Cessna, and that is something that is actually frequently done, is that people are hired and they are in charge of the full maintenance on the plane. They live on the premises. They are paid a salary to be basically on standby, and that plane is ready to go. Whenever I click my fingers, you better be ready, within an hour to take that bitch,
to do a flight plan.
Yeah.
After college, I did that as a fucking audio engineer. I did it in Northern California. I lived on 54 acres in Northern California, and they had a whole actual recording studio built as a wing of the house that they built just as a recording studio. And then I wired it all together and everything. And literally, I got paid a salary and got given a room there. And then it was, I don't care what fucking time of day or night it is. When I want to record with my friends, you fucking get the fuck up and you fucking set the mics up and you start recording and you sit in that.
Would that happen a lot? Would that happen a lot? Where just randomly you'd get the knock on your bedroom door and 3 a.m. and
it would. A lot of these people went to Burning Man and such.
Oh,
so
right.
Yeah, so it would totally happen. And then
time
I'd be
is not a real thing.
Yeah, time is a construct, and
it's a flat circle.
and I literally would be recording drum circles that no one would ever listen to. I'm like, did you see the way I mic'd that djembe? Like,
Sounded pretty
yeah.
sweet, didn't it?
Yeah,
it
like
fucking
no,
did.
yeah, no one appreciated how I would mic their, fucking acoustic guitars or anything by doing a mid center or something. Like, they were all fucked up. But
Well,
I'm actually recording.
you speak of Brock, and I'm pretty sure it might still be difficult for him to travel because of the Canadian travel
That's true.
restrictions. And he lives, I think he technically lives in Canada.
Canada is
think you're
locked the
right.
fuck down.
I
dude.
think you're right.
They are locked the fuck down.
I should have looked at that a little closer before I made my my prediction.
Well,
the
prediction.
other
I mean,
night.
nope, you're not allowed to change that prediction now, 3 months away from WrestleMania.
Oh no, and I was talking about Rumble, like because I predicted it for Rumble, but yes.
Well, yeah, but still, like it's weird because if it's not going to be Brock, who
Who
do
is
you
it?
have?
Sheamus
Yeah.
doesn't feel like a big enough name.
No.
I
What
can't.
if it's Trips?
Or Keith Lee?
I mean, he'll be out of his
Yeah.
quarantine by then.
I just don't know if they've built him big enough yet either.
No, and then do you have him?
Karrion Cross? Do you
Well,
bring
you
him up
see-
and build him? Do you have enough time to do that?
Randy called it,
I
basically
saw
called it
that.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Randy and Karrion Cross. I'm actually somewhat interested in that because that, like, those styles, like, somehow
They're very complimentary.
Yeah, they're complimentary. That'll work.
Yeah.
Two
Two
quick facts before I forget them though about Edge before we move too far on.
He's R-rated. One.
He had a live sex celebration on TV.
All
once.
right, yeah. Two other
Two.
quick facts about Edge.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
If Edge main events Mania's second night, because as we know, Mania is 2 nights this year. It will be exactly 10 years since he announced his retirement to the day.
Wow.
So that's an interesting little thing. Also, I thought it was fun that my dreamy Johnny Gargano, him and Candice posted a picture on Twitter today of Edge is coming to NXT tomorrow, and then he posted a picture of Johnny, him and Candice together, next to a picture of Beth Phoenix and Edge together. I'd fuck with that.
That'd be great.
I'd
Yeah.
fuck with that. That'd be fun.
I'd
Why
watch
not?
that.
Why not? Why not? I mean,
That'd be
and
great.
it might just be him fucking around and
No, but that's good. That's fun. That's fun
Yeah.
What if it's
speculation.
that
It would be
isn't-
good.
Is Gargano not the Gargano's the North American champion, right?
think so. Still, yeah.
Yeah. So what
Oh,
if
that'd be
it's
fun.
setting up
Oh.
Edge versus Gargano?
I just don't think so for Mania. Not with the way Edge's promos have been about like the
No.
championship that he had to relinquish and all that. That also kind of leads back to him versus Drew because he didn't lose the Universal Championship.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Then he can bring back the big gold belt.
What if he wins?
What if he won? Like he can bring back the big gold belt.
I mean, that would be great.
Yeah. It's like you sort of book yourself into a corner
Mm.
with that one though, right? Like
Yeah, you do.
because you're not going to get the ovation that you want for Drew if he's beating Edge.
I think you can make it work though. I think you can use it to just like kind of the way they did it just now with Goldberg. Like he beat
Yeah.
Goldberg, they shake hands, there's that mutual respect. Then there's also the possibility of like Christian getting involved and do like is there a
I
thing
like I
that-
get all that, but the Goldberg thing, Goldberg was very definitely the heel in that. Edge
Yeah.
is not going to be the heel, and they don't want Drew to be the heel either.
No. That's why it still
So-
leads me back to Roman every time.
Exactly. I think it
yeah.
has to be Roman unless you do a title change from somebody.
Yeah.
And like, would I like to see Finn versus Edge? Sure. Does it like feel like a Mania match to me? Not
Mm.
necessarily. No.
No, but
Maybe-
last year Charlotte went back.
Drew
She did.
Drew could drop it to the Fiend, and Edge could
No.
challenge the Fiend.
Okay.
I mean,
sure,
it's not what we
whatever.
want, but I'm just kind of theory. You know,
I won't hate it if they can tell it right, but I just feel like they don't. They're running out of fucking time.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, they gotta stick to a plan and fucking build it.
It's not for
They
Eddie.
gotta edge it. They gotta edge it.
Oh, look at you with that. But then let's not forget, like we've been forgetting this a lot lately, and for good reason. But the Miz and the briefcase. Like, what if there's some screwy thing with, there's obviously now Sheamus turning on Drew, and what if the Miz, they beat the fucking hell out of each other, and the Miz is able to cash in on either Elimination Chamber or Fastlane, which I believe are the two pay-per-views before Mania. What if he's able to cash it in? Miz walks into Mania as the champ, and now it's Edge versus the Miz.
Fine.
It works.
Fine.
It works.
Fine. And then Edge can win and have his last thing. Like, fine.
Fine. Then he goes on he has a little bit of a run. Then Drew can probably come back and take it from Edge.
Or Edge can vacate it and you can do a whole fucking tournament or whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, if Edge doesn't want to continue doing another run after that, if it's all about just proving to himself that he can do it still, I don't know, bro. Like, there's a lot of shit you can do with it. I'm definitely, I don't know. It's tough to say. I think the better Roman Reigns match, honestly, the match that I would rather see at Mania is fucking him versus Jay or Jimmy Uso.
Oh, dude, Jay, especially after what we've seen out of him in the last, few weeks. But unfortunately, not medically cleared right now. We don't have the reason
so he
why.
couldn't enter the Rumble.
Wasn't able to enter the Rumble even though he was announced. So that was interesting. Someone also suggested online, I saw this, and I kind of chuckled at it, but I'm like, it's so terrible. I kind of want to see it. But what if the Miz were to cash in on Balor in NXT? Just because I think he'd get his head stomped in, and
I would watch it just to see him get his head stomped in, because
oh my god, I'd love that.
It kind of works.
Prince Devitt would
somehow.
fucking fuck him up.
I would absolutely
Like 8 ways from Sunday. Just
no, but that's such a good way because Miz is such a chicken shit heel. You can have him somehow edge his way out of everything and retain that title for a little while and bring some main roster appeal to NXT.
It does actually sort of work from a WWE booking standpoint.
And then you can also split up Miz and Morrison and give Morrison something to do.
And what if he brings him to? What if the two of them go down to NXT together and Morrison?
Okay, no, I hate it.
Now Morrison just stays in NXT and Miz comes back on his own.
I wonder how long it's going to be before Taya shows up. I'm honestly surprised that she didn't show up at the Rumble.
Who's Taya again?
Taya Valkyrie is Morrison.
Morrison's wife. She was in Impact, correct? Or TNA back in the day?
And Impact until recently.
She just working. That's right. She just.
She's been working without a contract, and she just finished up her program with Deonna Purrazzo. So, I don't know.
That's an interesting one. I had a really kind of high drunk thought the other night, and never me. I put this down on paper. I'm like, do you think that Vince sees value in having Roman and Drew look alike? And even I thought this about Seth back in the day, because they do look very similar, so that people get like when you're booking a Raw and a SmackDown and they're both champion, do you think that he in his own mind is it kind of works in a sense because people will confuse the one for the other, and then they kind of
because they both got long greasy hair.
Yeah, they got long greasy hair and beards. I don't know. It just because like Seth Rollins like even fits that mold as well, although much shorter and you know whatever. But you understand what I'm asking? Like, or saying?
I do, and it is definitely a drunk high thought.
But it's definitely a Vince thing that could happen though, as well. Like of the way that he
dude,
sees
there's so many ridiculous bullshit things that could be Vince things.
True.
That we'll never like. We could have a list of like 55 of them, and 49 of them could be complete and utter bullshit, and we really wouldn't be able to tell which ones were legitimate and which ones weren't.
You could write that would be a good game. Like if you found out a bunch of Vince facts and then made up a bunch and you had to like true or false. That would actually
honestly
be a pretty good game.
You can do that, and I would never know if you were telling me that they were true or false. Like you're like, nope, that's not true. I made that up. Or like,
that's
nope,
definitely
that's
true.
That's definitely a fact. I'm like, no shit. Huh.
Yeah. Real quick, what do you guys think about for possible Mania matches, despite how other things go? Like, say, Keith Lee versus Bobby Lashley could be a match. Big E versus Seth Rollins could be a match.
I was gonna go Big E versus AJ on this one.
Okay.
I was gonna go Big E versus Bobby Lashley on that one.
I think Lashley and Riddle, though. I think that's where they're building this right now. I think that's a feud that might. I mean, and if they can keep it going that long, but
I already forgot that they were doing something, so I don't know that they can keep it going.
They had a big thing last night that really kind of invigorated it. Riddle was the one to put Lashley out of the Rumble with help of a couple other guys, and then Lashley absolutely destroyed him. Even when MVP's like, "Yo, man, chill out, like pull back." I can see them doing that.
So then they'll put the belt on Riddle at Mania.
That was my thought process. Yes.
Well, I don't know. There's still 2 months of pay-per-views to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if they end up doing like a triple threat for the women's, and it's Asuka and Ripley and Flair, because Flair and Ripley have that history, and you can then add Asuka into the mix.
But that's if we don't go the Belair Asuka route, which we talked about earlier. So that gets confusing too.
Right.
You think maybe, but also we've been talking about Roman Reigns Edge, but what about Reigns Daniel Bryan? Is that still on the table anyway? Or is Daniel Bryan just out?
I think we can do D-Bry like against Seth Rollins, like I mentioned earlier. I think you can also
D-Bry Shinsuke.
I'd be into that.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't mind if we had the rematch with Rhea and Charlotte, no title involved. And Rhea gets her, comeuppance after.
Yeah. What if and what about this? Just final thought and just spitballing a bunch of things here. But because of what's happened with Orton and Alexa and things like that, we get a Firefly Funhouse number 2 with The Fiend and Randy Orton.
I think you can even throw John Cena in that mix as
if they can fucking, and he has now famously said he will not be at WrestleMania 37. But that is, that's a fucking red herring. Yeah, bullshit. Like all know.
He keeps posting pictures of watches on his Instagram, apparently. Time is now. I don't.
Well, I mean,
he's good at that.
So what if you do that and then you have Orton enter the Firefly Funhouse and then Cena's still trapped in there somehow and helps Orton?
I think
right?
I think that's kind of exactly
super crazy with it.
I think it's exactly how you do it.
That could be how you bring the Fiend back. They got to keep this interesting now for a little bit longer. I mean, and maybe you throw Edge into the mix now again and have them actually, they said it was their final match, but Alexa Bliss showed up on Raw, so now we're going to do it at Fastlane or Elimination Chamber. We're going to have Edge versus Randy Orton one more time, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So have them finish their trilogy of fucking matches in the next 2, but still have Alexa doing something that leads into fucking, I can't call you out, Alexa, but I'm calling fucking this Power and the Fiend out. And at Mania, we're going to do, and he goes into the fucking Firefly Funhouse and somehow Cena's in there.
I don't mind that. I think that'd be a good use of Cena, and he doesn't have to be there on the day. It can be pre-recorded. There's all.
I also think that his hair fits with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been living in the Firefly Funhouse, letting it grow out.
Just letting it grow out.
So,
back to very quickly, the Big E versus AJ thing. I think that works because of the interaction.
Okay. Yeah, you're buzzing.
Did we go gargly? Did we go?
You're real gargly.
All right. In that case, sorry guys, we will have to stop very briefly, and we will be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Sorry.
I'm glad.